Hey guys, how you doing? Ron Raymond here from the Raymond Report with your free MLB Baseball previews and predictions for Friday. It is April 14th. Hope you're having yourself a good start to your friendly Friday. As always, don't forget, subscribe to our channel by tapping that notification bell in the top right-hand corner or hit the subscribe button below this video if you're using a mobile device. Today's podcast is brought to you by your good friends right here at bullpenpicks.com. Come and follow my selections each and every day right here at Bullpen Picks. Once you sign up, you go to, say, the top score, and you see Ron Raymond. Just click on follow my picks, just like you do on Twitter. And I call this the Twitter of baseball. And follow other good baseball pickers by going to bullpenpicks.com. All right, let's take a look at the SBI, the Sports Betting Index. This is my Dow Jones Industrial when it comes to baseball, and we've been talking about the totals and underdogs. And I said, let's just see what's going on in the markets in baseball, because a lot of favorites have been winning. Yesterday, even though there was only 7 games, it was an underdog day. Broke the streak of 3 days for the favorites. And same thing, if you recalled watching the show last week and this week, we've been saying, no, the over has come in a lot. Let the bookmakers make their adjustments, and they are starting to make their adjustment. This was at a high 58, 59%. It's getting down to 55, so you can see the bookmakers' totals have start going over the total. So that means they've been bringing the totals a little bit lower, so more of the higher. So this way, more of the totals go over the total, and they want to balance out the books, right? So 55.1%, 44.9%. Yesterday, 57% of the games went under, and on the 3-day average, they're exactly where the bookmaker wants it at 50-50. And like I say all the time, you put 100 bettors in the room, the bookmakers want 50 on the over, 50 on the under, and they'll make their money in the juice. All right, team standings. You know what? The gift that keeps on giving, the Tampa Bay Rays. Yeah, they're 13-0, but they got their hands full this weekend at the Rogers Center, and should be a great series this weekend between Tampa Bay and Toronto. Milwaukee, big win last night, 9-4 on the season. Atlanta, 9-4. Same thing for Minnesota. Went into the Bronx and got that big W. And that was, really didn't see that one coming with, what was it, 11-4, something like that. But anyway, double-digit numbers on Minnesota. We'll see what happens tonight in Game 2 of the series. Pittsburgh, remember Pittsburgh, Arizona, those two under-the-radar teams. Last year was Seattle. Every time in baseball, the first 20 games, we're trying to figure out who's who in the zoo type thing. And I always find these 2 or 3 teams that are fly under the radar that, those teams you're like, okay, when eventually they're going to fall back into their losing form. Those 2 teams so far this year is Pittsburgh and Arizona. So keep an eye out on these 2 teams through the first 20 games, and let's see if they are for real. Seattle was that team last year, and there was another one. I can't recall off the top of my head, but there was a couple of teams that fly under the radar from a market psychology point of view. And think of it, right? How many people are really going to bet the Pittsburgh Pirates in Arizona right now? And that's where the value comes in with that mindset. All right, let's get to the games here today. We'll kick it off in Miami between the D-backs and the Marlins. Now, the financials tell us the Marlins a 155 favorite. 9 is the total, and we're going to lean with Miami in this one. 4.7 to 4.1, the over-under at 8.92. So we do like this game to stay under the total. 55.7% chance of winning here for Miami, who did have the day off yesterday along with the D-backs. Strength of schedule, 53% for Miami. 6-7 on the year. Not too bad considering that, they had a series with the Phillies and Mets. Now they're back home. And you know what? This Miami Marlins, keep an eye on this team. They might make that under-the-radar team scenario, but the bad news is they're going up against that other under-the-radar team in Arizona. Should be a great one today at Marlins Park. Philadelphia taking on the Cincinnati Reds. The Reds winning their last game 6-2 against the Phillies. So game 2 of the series goes tonight at the Great American Ballpark. And we do have the Phillies as a 150 favorite. Had them listed as an underdog, plus 122 on my value index, and that's because they're 4-9 on the year. Again, follow the numbers, right? We all know the Phillies went to the World Series last year and they lost to Houston, but they got that tag, that perception tag of being a really good baseball team, which they probably are, but just it doesn't show in the records right now in the analytics, right? They're on a 3-game losing streak, and Cincinnati got that W yesterday, but we're going to lean on the analytics today with the Phillies, 5.3 to 4.4, the over-under at 9.78, and your Kogo sitting right there at 48%. Kogo stands for chance of game going over the total. Detroit Tigers taking on the San Francisco Giants. Now, the Tigers yesterday were, if you watched the show yesterday, I said, you know what? Something wrong with this analytics because it has the Tigers beating the Blue Jays. And sure enough, maybe the computer knew something we didn't, and Detroit went on and win. 3-1 was the final, and San Francisco lost 10-5 in their last game against the Dodgers. And now they're on the road at Comerica Park as a 142 favorite. 9 is the total. Joey Wentz going up against the former Oakland A pitcher, Sean Manaea, and we're going to lean with San Fran in this one, 4.7 to 4.3, the over-under at 9.01. Both these teams, chance of winning in the high 40s, 47.1, 46.8 for San Francisco. Cleveland Guardians taking on the Washington Nationals. Now the Guardians coming off a 4-3 loss in their last game against the Yankees. Both these teams playing on 1 day's rest. Washington on a 2-game slide. Same thing with Cleveland. And looking at the line, minus 155. I had them listed at 133 on the value index, so a little bit $25 or $22. A little bit inflated, overpriced. And we're going to lean with Cleveland here, 5.2 to 4.6. The over-under at 9.91. So we do like this one to fly over the total tonight at Nationals Park. Minnesota Twins, 11-2 was the final against the New York Yankees in Game 1 of the series. Game 2 goes tonight at Yankee Stadium. 7:05 Eastern is first pitch. You got Nestor Cortez, the Stash, up against Tyler Mahle of the Minnesota Twins. Now the Twins having a great start, 9-4 to the campaign, 8-5 for the Yankees. Minus 180 is the line. I had minus 160. So, the Yankees, and I was talking about this yesterday with a friend of mine. Montreal Canadiens, the New York Yankees, the Dallas Cowboys, the LA Lakers, the Boston Celtics, those key franchise championship, DNA type teams, right? Like Montreal Canadiens, I know we're talking baseball, but an organization like Montreal Canadiens cannot be in a losing, not make playoffs, right? It just, anyways, what I'm trying to get at is whenever you got these public teams, these quality teams like championship pride DNA in them, right? They can't suck. Bottom line, and I know I'm getting on a little bit of a tangent here on the Canadiens, being a hockey guy too, but yeah, just every time it's the Yankees. I saw the Yankees and I thought of all those other franchise teams like Montreal. You can't. Anyways, get back to baseball, Ron. You don't get off track. 180 is the line, 8.5 is the total, and we're going to lean with the Bronx Bombers in this one. 5 to 4.2, the over/under at 9.25. 61.4% chance of winning for the New York Yankees. 43 for the Twins, who are now on a 3-game winning streak. See how easy it is for me to get off track, but we got the train right back on the tracks here. All right, the game of the night will be in Toronto at the Rogers Center between the Blue Jays and the Tampa Bay Rays. Drew Rasmussen going up against Jose Barrios. Jose, a little bit of a Jekyll and Hyde pitcher, right? You really you got to take your Pepto-Bismol when he's on the road, but when he's at home, he's been pretty good at home the last couple of years. And tonight they are a underdog. Yep, they are 132 is the line here on Tampa Bay. 9 is the total, and we are going to lean with the Rays in this one. 4.6 to 4.2, the over/under at 8.95. Tampa Bay coming in with that 13-0 record. Toronto, in that series against Detroit, they could have been 0-3 in that series, so be careful going into this one. And Jose Barrios will have to be on his A game. The one thing against Tampa Bay, you can't get behind early. But the good news is, if you're a Jays fan, they do have the offense to come back in any situation of a game. All right, so the last 2 games have gone under for Toronto. Last 3 have gone over for Tampa Bay. Should be a good one tonight in Toronto. Baltimore Orioles taking on the Chicago White Sox. Now the O's, a 120 road favorite in this one. 8.5 is the total. You got Tyler Wells going up against Mike Clevenger of the Chicago White Sox, and we are going to lean with Baltimore in this one. 4.7 to 4.2, the over/under at 8.99. So we do like this one to go over the total. Both these teams, chance of winning, 49.3 for Baltimore, 42.9. So in the high 40s, low 40s. Strength of schedule, wow, look at the strength of schedule for Chicago. Maybe that explains their 5-8 record, 61.2. Baltimore, 32.6. So be careful. Maybe this is a situation where the wrong team is favored, right? I had the value in this at minus 193, and you can see at 120, so a little bit of a discount. But that strength of schedule plays a big factor into my handicapping. LA Angels taking on the Boston Red Sox. Now the Halos, a 122 favorite. 9.5 is the total, and we are going to lean with LA in this one. 5.07 to 4.6, the over/under at 9.69. Looking at LA, 7-5 on the year. Boston 5-8. Boston riding a 4-game lose streak. And you know what? Look at their strength of schedule, 63.2. Playing teams like Tampa Bay is not really going to help. But the good news is for Boston, they're back at home, and we'll see if that can get them back on a winning way. So 5.07, 4.6 over/under at 9.6 at Fenway tonight. Maybe the over could be a look here. Tanner Huck going here for Boston. Patrick Sandoval for the Halos. Atlanta Braves taking on the Kansas City Royals. Minus 140 is the price tag here on Atlanta. 9 is the total. We're going to lean with Atlanta in this one. 4.6 to 4.1, the over-under at 8.87. And Atlanta coming in on a 3-game win streak. They are 9-4 in the year, while the Kansas City Royals are 4-9. And looking at the starting pitcher for Atlanta, the old veteran Charlie Morton going up against Brady Singer of the Royals. And looking at Brady Singer's ERA on the season, 4.91, and for Charlie, 4.35. And Atlanta coming in on a 3-game win streak, 44.9 strength of schedule, 53.06. Texas Rangers taking on Houston. The Battle of Texas will take place tonight at Minute Maid Park. You got Brian Garcia up against Martin Perez of the Texas Rangers. Minus 160 is the line here on the Stros, and I had listed at minus 156. So if you do like Houston, fair market value tonight on Houston. Minus 103 was my line on Texas, so you're getting a little bit of a discount. And you know what? Martin Perez, not a bad pitcher. You're getting good value. 1-1 to a 2.5 ERA. Garcia with an ERA of 7. Texas could be the play here tonight. Last 5 games for the Rangers have gone over the total, but according to the computer pick, 4.8, 4.1, the over-under at 9.04. Maybe the run line, Texas is where you're going to lean on this one. Pittsburgh Pirates taking on the St. Louis Cardinals. Now the Bucks winning game 1 of the series yesterday, and convincingly, 5-0 was the final. Luis Oviedo going here today for the Bucks, up against Jake Woodford of the St. Louis Cardinals. Minus 168 is the line. I had 155 as my line, so a little bit, close to fair market value. And we're going to lean with St. Louis on the computer pick, 4.8 to 3.9, the over/under at 8.81. And looking at the chances of winning, 61.4% for the Cards, 51.02 is their strength of schedule. Pittsburgh 42.8. Again, maybe another run line here on the Bucks and Arizona, Pittsburgh, the Cubbies too. The Cubbies too, under the radar type teams, and Marlins. We'll see those. Those are my 4 teams that I call the under the radar teams. I'm going to be watching closely throughout the first 20 games. And for the St. Louis Cardinals, 8-2 to the under in their last 10. New York Mets taking on the Oakland Athletics. Now the Mets minus 220 on the road, and for the Athletics coming off an 8-7 loss yesterday at Camden Yards. And that was a close game. I'll give them credit in that game yesterday. When Oakland, every time they fell behind, they'd always claw back, but they couldn't get, some teams, they just can't get over that hump, right? You do a good job making the comeback, but you got to finish, right? It's not how you start, it's how you finish. And Oakland, their big problem right now is they can't finish ball games. And tonight, we're going to lean with New York, 4.9 to 3.2, the over-under at 8.17. 60.3% chance winning for the Mets, 30.09 for Oakland. Milwaukee taking on the San Diego Padres. Now, the Brew Crew winning last night at Petco. 4-3 was the final. Tonight, you got Eric Lauer going up against Michael Wacha of the San Diego Padres. 162 is the line. I had minus 121, so a little bit overvalued here today against the Brew Crew. And I had Milwaukee at minus 164. Yeah, so I don't know. Milwaukee looking pretty good on the price, but they're on the road at Petco. And I said yesterday, I think it was yesterday, I said, you know what? San Diego just finished playing 7 to 10 days on the East Coast. They came back for that first home run. That was a tight, a tough spot for the Padres last night. We'll see how they bounce back here. I got a feeling they might bounce back. Remember that they lost that first game against the New York Mets when they won 3 or 4 against the Mets. They go to Citi Field, and then they lost the first one, and then they did pretty well in the other games. I got a feeling we might see a little bit of a pattern here developing. 57.06 here for San Diego, 38.5 for Milwaukee, and that is your chance of winning the game straight up. LA taking on the Chicago Cubs. There's 2 old franchises right there. The Cubbies going to this one as a road underdog. Minus 165 is the line. 8.5 is the total, and we're going to lean with the Dodger Blue with Noah Syndergaard. Hey, Thor getting the assignment tonight against Justin Steele for the Chicago Cubs. Now the 4.93 to 4.01 is the computer pick. 8.94 is the total, so we do like it to go over the total. Chance of winning though, chance of winning 57.6 compared to 35.3 for the Chicago Cubs, and the Kogo in this one's at 47%. Strength of schedule 59.19 for LA. They're 7-6 on the year, right? And again, anytime you get these teams like LA, Houston, the public teams, right? There's always going to be like an inflated price into that in their situation, especially if they're at home. Minus 165 is the line, so I had 161, so close to fair market value. But keep an eye on the clubs. Yeah, I'm thinking golf already. Eh? It's getting nice. It's 13 degrees here in the nation's capital. So yeah, it was 28 yesterday. So it's golf season. Maybe that's why I was thinking of the clubs, not Cubs. But strength of schedule, 46.9 for the Cubbies. And I got a feeling Cubs, we'll see what happens this weekend. Again, those under-the-radar type teams, we'll see if Chicago proves to be right. But the only thing is they're on the road tonight. They're not at the friendly confines of Wrigley Field. And your final game of the evening, Seattle. When are they going to put it together, right? Where did I get that saying before? When are they going to put it together? Oh, yeah, I'm thinking of my podcast show with the Rex Ryan. Hey, when are we going to put it together? Seattle Mariners, 175 is the line, 8 is the total, and 4.53 to 3.58. The over-under at 8.11. So we do like this one to go over the total. Seattle's chance of winning this game at 57.1%. Compared to 29.7 for the Rockies. Rockies coming in on a 2-game losing streak and losing their last game to St. Louis. 7-4 was the final. Both teams coming in on 1 day's rest. First pitch tonight at T-Mobile Park is at 10:10, right? 10:10 Eastern. I'm using my military time here, 22:10. But should be, Seattle's got to get it together, right? We'll see what happens here. And the interesting thing, both these teams 5-8 on the season. All right, let's get to your stats and trends. And we all know, hey, friendly disclaimer, trends are your friends, but they don't pay the rent. The Toronto Blue Jays, 10-1 as a home team, coming off a loss against an American League Central Division opponent like the Tigers yesterday. Last 2 years, that's good for 90.9%. And let's be honest, if the Rays were to lose 1 game, it had to be this weekend against a pretty quality team with the Toronto Blue Jays. This is going to be an interesting series. That's all I got to say. The White Sox, 16-3 as a home team, coming off a 2-game losing streak the last 3 years. That's good for 84.2%. The under, 15-2-1 for Detroit as a home team, coming off a win against an American League East Division opponent the last 2 years. That's good for 83%. The Rays, 10-2 as a away team, coming off 3 overs the last 3 years. So there's a little conflicting numbers with the number 1 rank stat of the day. The White Sox, 14-3 as a home team, coming off a 2-game losing streak the last 2 years. There's Tampa Bay again, the under the Tigers. And the Stros, 8-2 as a home team, coming off a 6-game road trip. Where are you going to get stats like this, right? Houston, 8-2 as a home team, coming off a 6-game road trip last 4 years. So if you're thinking, you know what, Houston coming off a long road trip, not going to be in a good spot, well, they only win 80% of their games the last 4 years. All right, let's get to the top 25 sports betting trends. And if you are new to the Raymond Report, again, I look at the sports betting industry like the stock market. And what I do is I give you guys the top handicapping situation. How many times you listen to podcasts or sports betting shows, and we're always talking about situational handicapping, right? The letdown spot, the look ahead spot, coming off 2 losses, a righty versus a lefty, the situational handicapping, right? And today your number 1 situational spot, unfortunately it's a C-type team, is San Francisco. They're playing at Detroit. They're a 142 favorite, neutral 13 days. So that means win 1, lose 1 in the last 13 days. So they're either 4-3, 3-4 in the last 7 games. Strength of schedule is at 41%. Against those C-type teams, they win 60% of their games. They're on a 1-game losing streak. They're 5-7 on the year, 3-3 on the road, and their chance of winning is at 46.8%. And folks, you can get the top 25 sports betting option each and every day right here at atsstats.com. If you want to see the number 1 from all the sports, it is Minnesota, the T-Wolves, followed by Miami, and then San Francisco. And you can get this by going into your dashboard. Once you get inside your dashboard, look for top 25 sports betting option. And it should be one of my favorites. There it is, Ron's favorites right there. Top 25 options. Click on that, and it will take you to the top 25 sports betting option of the day. It's a good feature. You want to check it out. And speaking of checking out, don't forget bullpenpicks.com. You want to see my selections, who I got going on every team. And, guys, this is a free site. Why not sign up today, play along, follow other good baseball handicappers, and get the, build your consensus. Because once you go to your following page, you can see other cappers who've made their picks, and you can see their selections, and then you take your picks and you compare them with theirs, and then you can build your own consensus. Bullpenpicks.com. Sign up today. All right, that's it. That's a wrap. As they say in show business, hey, that's a wrap. Get the old hook, get them out of here. But folks, I'll be off this weekend. I'm a football coach. So I'm coaching provincial football, so we got practice all weekend. So I'll be coaching up future, hopefully CFL players or maybe NFL players, and hopefully you guys will be back here on a cash out Monday to hopefully get you back on your winning ways. And again, if you want to sign up to the website, we're running a promo right now. And if you want to save 25% off your next membership, just go right here, sign up. And once you do sign up, use promo code FLASH25 right here, all one word, FLASH25, and get 25% off your next membership just by going. And if you click on, I believe this right here, it'll take you to the sign up page. There you go. And what you do is you put FLASH25 right there in the coupon area, or for your if you want to do a year membership, put FLASH25, and you will save some money by using all the tools in the toolbox right here at atsstats.com. All right, my name is Ron Raymond. You can find me hanging my hat each and every day right here at the website or on my YouTube channel. And hopefully you guys have a great weekend. Enjoy the sunshine. And maybe if you're, hey, not the Cubs, but the clubs, you want to take out those clubs, enjoy a little bit of some golf this weekend. We'll catch you on the 19th hole. All right, folks, have yourself a great weekend, and we'll see you back here on a Cash Out Monday. Cheers.